let's talk about that Shang-Chi trailer. Hey, what's up, nerd fam? This is your boy Gershon. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. Today, we talk about the Shang-Chi trailer, which just came out a couple days ago. So, let's just jump into it. A couple cool things that I really liked about it. Number one, I am very big on stunt and fight scene choreography. And when watching this trailer, I can see that was a lot of care was put into it. And I noticed there's some homages to some really famous movies in here, like Kung Fu Hustle and House of Flying Daggers. I definitely saw that in the little forest fighting scene. And I was thinking, who is in this? Who's on this team? It seems like it might be part of a Hong Kong choreography team. And guess what? Andy Chang, the dude he's part of Jackie Chan's choreography team or stunt team. He's working on this. So I'm like, that's awesome. That means they have some real talent behind that. Now, it's visually stunning. It's great colors. Obviously, they're doing quite a bit of world building here. I would say this is kind of if for African culture, Black Panther was kind of a showcase for that. This is probably going to be something similar for certain Asian cultures. I can see that's probably where they were going. They were trying to do this version of that. Now, whether people agree with that or not, whatever, but I see that's where they were trying to go, especially because you see all the talk that's going around this movie is, Asian representation and stuff like that. And okay, that's what they want. All right. But I think this movie is definitely going to be catered to people who don't know a lot of the source material. Because I see a lot of things that kind of break it, which we're going to get into. But I think this can still be an entertaining movie? Absolutely. It's especially based on the things that I really like about just action movies in general. I'm probably going to enjoy this movie a lot in terms of that. But I have to take my comic brain and then that movie brain and probably try to separate them and look into that. I can see a couple things that might make my comic brain go, "Urgh." And a couple of things would be, I noticed that his father, Shang-Chi's father, is also supposed to be the Mandarin in this movie, which is not what it is in the comics. In the comic, his father is a guy named Zheng Zhu or Fu Manchu, which they said they wanted to take that out for problematic. They thought it was very problematic to put Fu Manchu in there because it had to do early communist China stuff. And honestly, they could have cut that out and still just focused on who Zheng Zhu was as a character, as a sorcerer. And I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna do a composite character that blends Zheng Zhu as a sorcerer. The whole story with him and his brother getting the eyes of the dragon, fighting Fin Fang Foom at one point, meeting the Ancient One, which ties Shang-Chi to Doctor Strange, and also the fact that Zheng Zhu also fought Dormammu at some point. So he has this whole part where he's pretty much a good guy, but after his brother dies, he starts his own little kind of criminal empire and becomes Shang-Chi's, father and nemesis later on. And the fact that he's the Mandarin as well is very confusing to me, because if you read any of the comics, know that Mandarin is Iron Man's greatest villain. It's his greatest villain. So they're going to kind of combine the two, and I'm wondering how they're going to do that, because the Mandarin, obviously it's called Mandarin in the Legend of the Mandarin. Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings. The Ten Rings is actually a piece of alien technology that he got that was connected to a whole bunch of alien spirits from the comics. Now, in this, the Ten Rings is actually the name of an organization. So I wonder if they're going to still go that route, maybe those 10 rings actually exist. That'd be cool if it did, or if they're trying to take a more grounded approach, which I don't know why they would do that, because the character isn't really that grounded, but they're trying to combine the two. And also, it looks like Mandarin is he's the way they have his character set up in the trailer. He's I tried to prepare you to make sure these people, the most dangerous people in the world is gonna try and kill you. Just he's not even really a villain. Yeah, he's a crime lord, but there's gonna be some things we're gonna be able to relate to him with. And it's I guess you want to do that, but it's okay to just have a bad guy. And like I said, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I can see this the way they're positioning it in the trailer. Obviously, Shang-Chi is gonna be like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna set my own path, and you're about this. I got it. But when you combine two different characters like that, you wind up like losing what makes those characters individually special. So I feel like it would have been cool to actually have his father be one thing, like kind of be more accurate to what was happening to the comic, and then if Mandarin was gonna come in, have him be, just the Mandarin. But obviously they kind of missed that because, Tony's dead already. So I guess they figured since we can't do that, we might as well just combine the two. So I guess I get it, why they did it that way, but it's still kind of a waste. Like, I don't understand why they didn't use the Mandarin in the first place. Like, if they were gonna use him here, why didn't they use him with the character who we know him to have combated the whole time? Whatever, I'm beating a dead horse because it's already over, right? Whatever. I do hope there's certain characters we get a chance to see. I didn't mention Fin Fang Foom. I hope they make the connection to like the Ancient One and stuff like that, because that's what this goes with. Also, Shang-Chi does have a pretty cool rival in this guy named the Cat, who's also like an expert martial artist. Eventually, he does team up with Iron Fist later, so I wonder if they're gonna make any allusions to that, to Kunlun and everything. I can see them doing it. I can definitely see them doing it just because of like the world building that we're kind of seeing in the trailer. We also know this is probably going to be a pretty funny movie because that's what Marvel likes to do, and they have Aquafina in there, so we already know that's going to be a thing. Whether you dig it or not, it's going to be, they want it to be family friendly as well. All right. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything here. People want Killmonger to come back. What they don't know is when Killmonger died in the comic, Mandarin was the one to bring him back with the rings for the first time. So if they ever really want to do that, I think the rings probably should exist so you can actually do a comic book accurate representation, or a recreation of a moment like that, because then you could say he brought him back so he could do, let's go do your plan, or if you want to stay alive, you have to do what I want you to do type of thing. Like, just real villain stuff, like work for my organization, whatever it is, right? Obviously some people are not gonna like that. Like, oh, why does Killmonger get controlled? He was his own man, and whatever. Comic book, guys. Comic book. Read the comic books, right? But yeah, I think as an action movie and as its own thing, this will probably be an entertaining movie. I'll probably be very entertained by this, and I'll probably even like it. But like, my comic book brain is gonna be kind of sad from the things that I missed out. And there's also another character called Midnight Sun. I really want to see him. Midnight Sun was actually his like half like adopted brother. Not half adopted, that's his adopted brother, who Zhang Zhu got from like Africa somewhere. His face was all scarred. He wore the suit, this a whole mask that covered his face. And when Shang-Chi started like pulling away from his dad, he's like, oh, something's wrong with my dad. Midnight Sun was like, no, man, this guy saved me. Like, I'm gonna keep on following his orders no matter what. Eventually they start fighting. Shang-Chi winds up having to kill him. He gets like brought back by the Kree, and he even puts his hands on Silver Surfer at some point. So I hope they build everything, but they probably won't, because Midnight Sun will kind of go the way of White Wolf and Black Panther, because if they're trying to have majority cast be like, on Black Panther, they wanted majority things to be black, and this one is going to be like majority Asian, which I guess is fine. They're probably not going to, add characters that are in prominent roles like that. So whatever. A boy could dream, right? But yeah, that's it. So I like the trailer. Obviously, I like the source material, and a lot of it's probably gonna go to the wayside. So I just gotta deal with that. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is gonna be a great movie? Do you kind of see what I'm talking about when it comes to the source material? Are you mourning the loss of Mandarin as I know him? Whatever. Let me know in the comments below, and like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. And to the nerd.